Hello, all you hardcores out there. How are you doing? Russ here from Porky's Corner, the biggest gob in sport. I say the things on here that nobody dare say. We're just waiting for Kent to log in. Where is Kent? So it's all good stuff. For those of you that have been purchasing the human nutrients, thank you very much. It's pinned up in the comment section if you want to have a look. It'll click on the link, it take you straight to the website. So it is what it is. Seem to be having some difficulty with Kent. I'm on Kent part one. So maybe it's the Wi-Fi going across the Irish Sea over the water to Kent's Manor. We don't know, but I'm sure Kent will keep us informed. Here we are. Here we are. Here's the big dog. The big dog.
How's it going, Russell? How
And
you doing?
the hardcore is back on his perch where he belongs. What football top have you got on today, Kent?
I haven't got any on, Russell. I'm really sorry to disappoint you in that.
Oh, it's not me. It's all them in comment section. You had that Wimbledon one on last time, didn't you?
Retro Wimbledon.
Oh,
Yes.
retro. What's
Really,
different?
really love that top, Vinnie Jones. I've actually a couple of tops ordered, so they should be here pretty quick. So I've ordered six, so I'll do one per show. How's that?
How many tops you got all together now, Ken?
From the 90s, I would say over 50.
Go on, lad. Well, you don't drink or party pop, do you?
My first ever football top, Russell, was England Italia 90.
Or Gaza?
Yeah, I'm my second ever goalkeeper. Sorry, my second ever football top, but my first ever goalkeeper top was Glasgow Rangers 92.
Oh, Glasgow Rangers, Kent.
What a jersey.
Who were that? Jim Goff, whatever he's called.
No, it, it was Richard Goff. Richard
Richard
Goff,
Goff,
sorry,
that's
Russell.
him. Okay. There's a bit of beef between the Grim Reaper, Reid. I nearly said Robin Hood then, Robin Reid, and Ricky Fatton. And it looks to me, from reading the screenshots that we've been sent by Robin, who wants this put out there, that Ricky Hatton is a slimy, sneaky, backstabbing, no good wrong'un. What do you think, Kent?
Well, Ricky Hatton's as cheap as nasty as that belt I have on in the background, and I think he's as slimy as all those fries he used to eat back in the day, and when he had to bring in before he had to bring in Carrie Kays to help him actually make weight, which
Yeah.
was his job. I had the misfortune of meeting Ricky Hatton once at the Europa when he was training and managing Rand Burnett, very unsuccessfully, may I add. And do you ever hear that saying, Russell? You don't want to never meet your heroes.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
yeah. I've been there, mate.
th this was sickening. I'm not even going to go into it, but I used to watch the first time I ever watched Ricky Fatton ever box was one of his very first fights. It was actually Mark Ramsey, Cal Taylor, and Paul Denton. I remember watching Paul Denton. Then he headlined a fight against a guy called D- Dylan Dylan Carew on
Yeah.
Sky Sports, and I remember his first ever. I think it was his first ever away fight was against Gilbert Quiros. He was punching his head in and caught him, and then just stop hitting him, and he got the win. But I was very, very disappointed, and ha meeting Ricky Hatton. It was a terrible. It was a terrible experience, and he was absolutely horrible. And I hope I never actually see him again
Yeah,
because he's
well,
horrible.
you're not the only person that says that. But getting back to the beef, him and Robin Reid have shook on a fight at Manchester Arena. Robin's mates paid 10 grand out for Arena. He's all for it, but judging by the screenshots and the time zones on them and that, he's obviously playing uh, Robin Reid off Barrera, and he's got a better deal with Barrera. But when it come to it, he wanted more money than Robin Reid. They were going to have a split, and then he wanted more money. So Robin agreed it, another 250 for Hatton, and he ended up backstabbing him and going with Barrera. And then Robin trying to get in touch and left him hanging. I mean, you've read the text messages about how he's trying to do manoeuvres behind boards back and all that because he's a manager trainer and all that. And it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like reading them text messages back and forth, them screenshots. I mean, what an absolute carcass of a geezer, an absolute wrong un, mate.
I think he's an absolute weapon, and for me, I always try and take the moral compass. And if I've agreed something with someone, I'll honor it. And I've a saying, you always look after your own, whether it's your
Yeah,
friends, your family, your neighbors. You look after them. You know, they would be, if you ask me, right, you've got Pereira, who made a lot of money in his career and is doing quite well now and is actually a qualified lawyer. Or you've got Robin, who post and pre hasn't done as well as Ricky Hatton. And I would be saying, you know what? I would rather put a few quid in Robin's pocket and maybe get himself
for
out
the
there and maybe
Mexican.
get him, yeah, then get him out there, get him back out into the public domain and maybe get something up, maybe get a bit of work off Talk Sports, Sky Sports,
Yeah.
get something from it and enhance his profile now to the younger viewers. But he didn't, and that's Ricky Hatton. And he actually made a terrible comment last week about his own son retiring and going and doing an honest day's work, and he was laughing about it. And I'm thinking, that's your own son you're laughing about, and
Yeah.
that's just the type of person he is. I think he's an absolutely terrible person, and all this nice cuddly Ricky Hatton act that he puts on and on TV
Worn
and
very
YouTube.
thin on it now.
It's all an act. So it is.
When
He's
all
been
said and
exposed.
done, he's like 90% of boxers at that level, all grubby. When it comes to a pound note, they will sell their arseholes.
Absolutely. And after the fight was announced, you know, a couple of days after, his house went up for sale. Now, I don't know about you, Russell, but we know that we do agree that the Riyadh season and Turkey Al Sheikh, Ring Magazine, TKO Endeavor do run boxing now. Do we agree?
Yeah, yeah, we agree on that.
So they weren't the people that were actually putting this event on over in Saudi. And if you look at Saudi boxing right now, there's not multiple partners. It's not like satellite partners or satellite promoters. It all falls under the one umbrella, and that's Turkey Al Sheikh and his multiple companies that he's involved in. And this event promoter was not none of them. So I don't really see it happening. So I don't, Russell, I don't think it's going
Well,
to
it's
happen.
been took off box rec, it now? They were fighting for WBC Middle Eastern belt, weren't they? At 160.
Yeah, well, it was probably a better looking belt than that piece of crap I have in the background.
That what they had
But
15 defenses of.
yeah, that piece of trash. You know, the WB. There was. Do you know, Russell? There was actually two WBUs that were actually fighting over ownership. There was a German based company, and there was a company based in Camden Town, upstairs of a kebab shop. That was the English based WBU. Bloody awful, awful.
Okay. Well, listen, we've covered that, but it's the general sneakiness. And you know what? I like Robin Reid. So, yeah, Robin, I put this out for you, mate, and I feel your pain, mate. And to be fair to Robin, I did a 3 hour interview with him about 5 years ago, parked up in my Merc, and I had camera on. All I had on me were my normal camera. I went through 6 batteries, and it were an automatic, this car, and I had light on it car. When I went to start it, there were no power, and then he didn't want it put out. Fair enough, and all that, but to be fair, he said, yeah, put it out. Because I think this act, that this Man of the People and all that, Man of the People, they were 1,080 quid plus booking fees for them tickets to watch Barrera. I mean, Tasha Jonas were on undercard, I remember at the time. Yeah, Man of the People, for the fans, Ricky Hatton, yeah, coming back to line his pockets. Well, he ain't coming back now. So crawl back under your stone, you fat cunt. If you got a problem,
You
get in touch
know,
with me. I don't like you. I never liked you when you sang out at back of Dennis. So, and you backstabbed Dennis as well, you wrong un.
well,
So,
see, to be honest, Ricky, see if you're watching this here, if you are watching it, you're an absolute weapon, okay? And see when Eamon McGee put you up down on your arse, he held you up the rest of the fight. See if anybody wants to go and watch Eamon McGee versus Ricky Hatton, go and watch the fight, and you'll notice from round 10 onwards, he was actually holding Ricky Hatton up. So that's all I'm saying on that there.
okay. Right then, Kent, shall we bowl on to part two? Because we've got loads to get through.
Absolutely.
I'll see you on part two. Pop, pop, bang. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. And don't forget to check out the link in the comment section pinned to the top. It'll take you straight to the website for human nutrients. Booyaka!